Hi there, today's video is a bit different than usual. I want to share some tips and tricks specifically for Sikhs. Now, I am a practicing Sikh myself, and I found a few ways to use my Kindle in my daily routine to help with my Sikhi, and I wanted to share that with other Sikhs who might be interested in trying that out. Now, even if you are not a practicing Sikh, this video still might be a bit helpful. I'll be talking a lot about reading on PDFs, how to send those PDFs onto your Kindle, and how that workflow is all set up. So again, some of the words I use might only make sense for Sikhs, but if you are not a Sikh, you could ignore that part of the video. The tech side of things will be very relevant. So let's get started. The first question you're probably wondering is, why should a Sikh consider using a Kindle? What are the benefits there? And the answer to that is actually really obvious. As Sikhs, we do a lot of reading between our daily Nitnem, and if you want to do Sajbat or read any other Bani for that matter, we are just reading all the time, and having a Kindle is exactly for that purpose. It is designed for reading. Now, over the years, we've seen a lot of different apps come out for iPads and phones, and they do a lot of cool things. You've probably heard of the Sundar Gurka app or Gurbani. You can do a lot of the things that you can do on a Kindle on your iPad or your phone. So again, the question comes up, why should I use a Kindle? And I think there are three reasons why a Kindle is better than using an iPad or a phone. The first and most important is probably the idea of having no distractions on your Kindle. When you're reading something, whether it's spot or anything else on your phone or your iPad, you are constantly fighting the urge to be distracted. In fact, if a notification comes up while you're reading, you're going to get distracted. On a Kindle, you don't have any of that. Your sole focus is for reading. You don't have any other apps or anything like that. You can only do one thing on a Kindle, and that is read. The second benefit of having a Kindle is the fact that you won't have as much eye strain while reading on a Kindle. Kindles use e-ink technology, which is black and white, and there's no light shining into your eyes. In fact, Kindles have something called front light, where the light is shining onto the Kindle screen. Like reading a book, for example, you shine light onto the book page so you can read the page. Kindles work in a very similar way. So it feels like you're reading on real paper, whereas a phone, you have light shining into your eyes, which causes strain on your eyes for long periods of reading. And the last benefit of having a Kindle compared to a phone or iPad is that Kindles are just way more fun to use, in my opinion. Having a phone and iPad, you use it every single day anyway. Having a Kindle just changes things up a little bit, and I actually feel a lot more fun using this for my Sikhi as well, having a different device just for that purpose compared to my phone, which I use for other things as well. It just makes the whole process a bit more fun and creative, and that just makes it a lot more encouraging to do bot. With all of that being said, there is one clear disadvantage of having a Kindle for your Sikhi, and that is you will not have the ability to search for specific shabads. That requires downloading an app from the internet, and Kindles don't support apps of any kind. You can only do long form reading in terms of PDFs or books. So if you want to do shabad searching, you'll have to use a phone or an iPad. I don't mind this though, because again, the main thing we'll be talking about in this video is long form reading, and all of that can be done just fine on a Kindle. The next thing I want to talk about is the idea of keeping proper satkar with your Kindle when you're using it to read Gurbani. This is a very important topic, especially in today's world of technology. When we're intersecting technology with Sikhi, we want to make sure that respect is still there. If possible, I would strongly recommend having a dedicated Kindle just for Path and reading Gurbani. Definitely keep it with proper respect. Don't just throw it around your house. Keep it in a nice location. Have it elevated if you can. Don't just put it on the ground. Things like that go a long way. I'd also recommend making sure you wash your hands, cover your head. All these things apply as if you're reading a Gurkha Sahib. A Kindle with Gurbani should be treated the same way. The last thing I'll mention when it comes to satkar is make sure you keep your Kindle clean. Again, this has a screen on it, so fingerprints will build up over time. I strongly recommend having a microfiber cloth and cleaning it down once in a while, even wiping it down with a Lysol wipe or something like that. These devices do tend to get dirty, not to any fault of your own. It's just natural with any kind of screen, so keep it clean over time. Now that we've talked about proper satkar for your Kindle, as well as why a Kindle is better than a phone or an iPad, let me talk about which Kindle you should get for reading bot in terms of your Sikhi. If you are new to the world of e-readers and Kindles, you'll be happy to know that most of these devices are a lot less expensive than buying a tablet, so hopefully that helps with getting into the ecosystem. There are two primary Kindles I'd recommend for most people when it comes to using it for your Sikhi. The first one is the Kindle Paperwhite, which I have in my hand right now. This is the most portable one. It's also pretty inexpensive, less than 150 bucks, and you'll have all the main features of reading on it, and it works really well in terms of carrying it around to different locations if you want to travel with it, things like that. Having the Paperwhite is also a very future-proof device. This just came out within the last year or two, so it's going to be something that lasts you for quite a while. Now, if you have a bit extra money and you want to invest into some more note-taking features that involve using a stylus, like underlining or circling text, writing things on the side, then you might want to consider getting a Kindle Scribe. This device has a larger screen as well, a 10-inch display, so you have much bigger font options, which might be important depending on your eyesight. But again, this device is not as portable. So if portability and just having something small and compact is important to you, the less expensive Kindle Paperwhite is my recommendation. If research, note-taking, things like that is more important to you, the Kindle Scribe, which is a little bit more expensive, might be a better option. Now that we've talked about which Kindle is best for your personal needs, let's actually talk about how to set it up so you can read your book on your Kindle. And before I do this, I have to give special credit to the team over at SikhNet. They've done a lot of seva. When the Kindle first came out several years ago, they actually jumped on this right away and created a bunch of resources for us, which I'll be referencing. So a big thank you to them for doing this seva for us. Now, the SikhNet team actually went through and created dedicated PDFs for every single bani that we will probably want to be reading on a Kindle screen. They optimized it for the Kindle, which makes it look so much nicer than a regular PDF. So that is why I'm so grateful for them. They actually have a website with an article with all the download links that you need. If you want to download all the banis, feel free, but the ones that I recommend for sure are the Nitnem banis as well as Sajbot. So you have most of your daily routine covered with those two PDFs. I will leave a link to the article that I'm talking about down below in the description. I'll also leave links directly to the PDFs for Nitnem and Sajbot down below if all you care about is getting those two. Once you have the PDFs downloaded, the next thing you want to do is send those PDFs over to your Kindle. Now, the easiest way to do this is through the Send to Kindle website. Again, I have a whole video that talks through this process. I'll leave a link for that down below. But in summary, you open up the website and you drag and drop these PDFs and log into your Amazon account. They'll show up on your Kindle within a few minutes. Now, these PDFs, especially the Sajbot one, are quite long, so it may take several minutes for them to process, but after a little while, they will go through and they will show up on your Kindle. Now, once they're on your Kindle, again, they may take a little time to actually open for the first time. These are longer PDFs. They're also in a different font than most books on the Kindle store, so it has to kind of adjust a little bit. Once you open it up a few times, the Kindle will start loading it much faster. Now, at this point, you are all set to go. You can start reading Nitnem and Sajbot on your Kindle. There is no other work required. I do have a few bonus tips and tricks though that might make your experience a bit more pleasant. Let me talk about those. Now, if you have other books that you've purchased on your Kindle account, you're going to see all of those show up on your Kindle library screen. If you only want to see the PDF documents that we sent over to the Kindle that you're using for your book, there's actually a way to filter out everything else. It's really simple. Just go to your library, press on the filters icon, and filter for only documents. Make sure the books one is unchecked. This will ensure you only see PDF documents on your Kindle library, which should just be those two PDFs that we sent over earlier. The next tip I have is adding bookmarks to your Nitnem PDF. I really enjoy having one PDF for all the Nitnem banis combined. It just makes reading through it much easier, but sometimes you want to skip through to one specific bani in the PDF. We can actually add a bookmark to each of the banis for quick navigation. Next time you're reading your Nitnem and you get to the next bani in the list, just tap on the top right corner of the page. You'll see a bookmark icon appear. Press on that icon. It will add a bookmark to that page for easy reference in the future. You'll want to do this for every single bani in your Nitnem PDF. Then you can go to the bookmarks menu and you can quickly navigate to those certain pages that have a bookmark. You can also do this for your Sajbot if you'd like. Say you come across a certain shabad or a certain section of Sajbot that you want to reference again in the future. You can add a bookmark to it. It makes it very easy to come back to that section later. If this is your first time using a Kindle, I should also probably mention you don't have to worry about saving your progress on a Kindle. Say you're reading search bar and you close out the PDF when you're done reading, next time you open it back up, it will automatically remember where you left off. So that's one really nice advantage of using a Kindle. The next tip I have for you is highlighting different words that stand out to you while you read your bot. Again, make sure you keep proper satkar, make sure your hands are clean and all of that, but you can actually drag across a certain word or certain pankti while you're reading bot and highlight it for easy reference and to make sure it stands out next time you read. This has been a big help for me in terms of being able to memorize my bot. I'm using this feature right now in Japji Sahib. The Sodhar section especially kind of trips me up once in a while. When you compare that Sodhar to Rera Sodhar, it's not the same at all. There are some subtle differences. So I've gone through and highlighted certain words so I make sure not to mess those up when I'm reading it. Things like that are very easy to do on a Kindle and makes memorizing bot a lot easier. Now, if you have the Kindle Scribe and not the Kindle Paperwhite, you also have something called the pen, which can be used for taking notes while you read as well. Definitely use your own judgment when it comes to satkar, but you can do things like create notebooks alongside the PDFs so you can take notes and extensive documentation. If you're researching something, for example, you can also underline directly within the PDF, which can be helpful. There are just so many possibilities here. Reading on a Kindle is a very powerful way of reading any kind of document. Now, if you have any questions about this process or about using a Kindle for your Sikhi or any other Kindle question for that matter, leave a comment down below. I will try my best to answer. And going back to something we talked about earlier, if you do have a desire to search for certain shabads and learn how to do searching for Gurbani, there's an app called Sikhi to the Max. I actually have a tutorial video that walks you through how to use Sikhi to the max. So if that's something that's interesting to you, link for that video on the screen right now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.